This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
If 2020 has taught us anything, it's to take nothing for granted. So when you expect hot water and get cold, when you expect the shower to drain and it doesn't, when you turn the furnace on and it won't start, stop freaking and call Beacon Plumbing, Heating, and Mechanical. 1-800-FREAKIN'.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
Your home is going into foreclosure and you feel like a financial wreck. You don't know where to turn for accurate information. I'm bankruptcy attorney Travis Gagne. Let's talk about some legal options. If we work quickly, we can propose a plan to save your home, modify the loan, or in many cases even eliminate your second mortgage. The consultation is free. I've helped hundreds of people just like you make informed decisions about whether to save their home or exit it on a reasonable, organized timeline. The chapter you choose sets the tone for the next chapter of your life. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. You know what? The online world, the internet, it sometimes does put a smile on our faces. And, as well as the other stuff.
Depending on which thumbnails you're clicking on. Oh, dear.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about the smiles on your faces part of it. There's a guy online who loves to do covers of popular songs while doing an impression of Cartman. So it's like, Cartman singing the songs.
This is, dude, I saw one of these over the weekend, and I had to keep watching it because and I had to close my eyes because the guy's got like the big burly beard, and he just looks like this like dude that just like would probably play like death metal. But then you close your eyes, and it actually does sound like Cartman singing these songs.
So here he is doing Linkin Park's In the End.
I put my trust in you.
I want more.
I want a whole record of this, man.
Oh my gosh, yes.
That song, I mean, it gives you like, oh man, maybe Cartman's going through some tough stuff. Like you feel it.
Well, and now in this one, Cartman, now you feel like Cartman's gone through tough stuff. Maybe he's come out on the other side and really just, he's now found out really what life is about.
He's got it down. Wow. Now, is he up for being hired to show up to like a family like barbecue and act like he's a friend and then just pull out the guitar and do that?
Oh, that'd be great.
Because that's a great idea.
Like I said, this is like a dude that does not. I don't know what you expect. I don't know who I'm expecting to sing like Cartman, but like I would not expect this guy to do it.
You know what the sad thing is he stays better in tune than I do just trying to sing regularly.
Right.
It's making me kind of depressed that I can't sing at all whatsoever.
I just love that he also stays in the spirit of Cartman when he's like, "You guys," and I'm like, "Oh God, you're killing me, dude."
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm ready for an album, Steve. I'm with you. I think that let's get a full album from this guy.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to pay for this album, but I'd stream it.
I got $5 on this one.
I'd hire him to show up to a party, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'd Napster that album. Yep, I would.
Napster.
If you're that guy, would you not show up to open mics and just get up there in front of people and just do that?
Absolutely. 100%.
karaoke, but that's how he does everything.
Especially Dust in the Wind, that song, that's a long guitar intro to that. So he could just be doing that and people are like, oh, great, this is going to be depressing. And then all of a sudden he does it as Cartman. It would, dude, all the money would come out of my pocket and I'd throw it in his guitar case.
Whoa.
You're
Which
right.
isn't a lot. It's like $17.
Okay, nice.
You're right, Steve. That's a great switch. It is a great switch when you feel like, oh, are they going to, oh, here we go. We're going to hear a depressing song. And then all of a sudden, boom, it's Cartman.
Yeah. It's Cartman.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. I do not want this life. I do not want this life at all. A couple in Georgia found 18 snakes under their bed.
And these weren't like toys, right?
No, these were...
not a prank.
Yeah.
Babe. What are these snakes of all different sizes, shapes, and colors?
Yeah. No, these were real snakes. They were just garter snakes. And here's a lady named Trish talking about what she saw.
Before going to bed, I spotted what I thought was a piece of fuzz on the floor, and I went to reach for it, and it moved. And then a second later, another piece moved, and I began hollering for my husband, we have snakes.
We have snakes. He's probably like, what?
Really? Wow.
Nope.
How? And that is, I mean, how?
Yeah.
How is a very solid question there?
How?
Yeah. Well, as it turns out...
Close your door. How are these snakes getting in?
Well, it's a good question you ask because we have an environmental educator named Camilla explaining how this could happen.
If you have a mouse problem, the snakes are going to try to come and help you with that. If you give them a way out, they're going to take it. They're not going to chase you.
Oh, so not only snakes, but mice.
Yeah, it's like the double whammy. Well, I mean, it's kind of cool that the snake's got your back. Like, hey, man, you got a mouse problem. I'm here for you.
So that's the way you've got a lot of mice in your house is that snakes are coming in.
So they probably get in the same way that the mice are getting in.
Yeah, that's pretty lame, though, man. I mean, that means that there are more mice inside than outside because the snakes are like, oh, this is better hunting.
Yeah, those snakes are like, this is dinner. Let's go into their house.
Whoa, dude. Yeah, you got to
like
shore
Tom
up
and
that
Jerry,
joint.
but like instead of a cat, it's a snake.
Yeah. I don't know if I don't want anybody in my house. The snakes, the mice, get out.
One texter said, my brother's 6'4", 280 pounds, and he will run from a baby gardener snake. It's hilarious.
That was my grandpa back in the day. It was the one thing, just the itty bitty snakes will just make him turn tail and run.
Well, it's like it's a spider too. I mean, again, we talked about that. They shouldn't be making you so terrified, but they do.
Well, it's like you brought up earlier. My wife is terrified of spiders and also snakes. I remember walking around our old development, and she thought it was a snake, and she jumped, man. I swear she could have slam dunked a basketball, how high she jumped. Like, I was just like, holy smoke, she got hops. And it turned out it was just like a piece of a broken hose. And I was like, you're good. Don't worry. This thing's not going to get you unless you want to be hydrated. Like, it's just a hose.
Still could see how she would think that's a snake.
Oh, yeah. Like looking in the corner of your eye and just kind of see like a green curly thing.
Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, yeah.
Is anyone here afraid of snakes?
100%.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you more afraid of snakes or whales?
It's a good question.
Ooh, good one.
They're probably about the same, to be honest with you. Like, if I was in the ocean and I saw a whale, I would be just as scared as if I was on a trail.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
And saw a snake.
So what about like an eel? Because it's it's like a snake of the sea.
They're creepy.
The snake of the sea.
I mean, he's not really wrong.
Well, they're electric. See, that's what I'm afraid of with those guys is they're supposedly electric. They can shock you.
Yeah, unless I have some toast, I don't really want to see an eel.
Okay.
If I'm in a desert location, And when I go to Southern California, a lot of those hikes are desert-like. I am afraid of desert snakes because there could be like a rattler out there. That's a different thing.
Hearing a rattlesnake would trip me out. I'm not like terrified of snakes. They're not my thing. Like I'm not like a snake collector or something like that. But like when I see them out and about or anywhere, I'm just like, those are cool looking. Like they're so beautiful.
I mean, yeah, and it depends. And like I've been to the zoo where they like have somebody holding one, and I've touched a snake and stuff. So I'm not like deathly afraid of them, like where I can't even look at my mom. If she even sees like a toy snake, she'll have nightmares for like 4 weeks. Yeah.
She's like Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I'll hold a snake. I have no problems with snakes except
Pardon me?
surprise snakes. If I'm not expecting to see one, I'll jump, and then if I know it's not poisonous, I'll be fine.
Are we talking about your ex-boyfriends again?
Or in unsolicited snakes, which one is
right.
Yeah.
You
Yes,
don't like it when the snakes slide into your DMs, in other
No,
words.
I don't like the unsolicited snakes.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like that would freak out anybody.
BJ mentioned desert. Okay, what's more of a trip to you? A snake or a scorpion?
Scorpions are scary.
Yeah, scorpions are actually
freak me out.
Yeah.
Like that's a big part of I'm never planning on moving, but that's a big part of why I wouldn't want to live in Arizona.
Yeah, well, it's funny you say that because my cousin lives in Gilbert, and it was one of those, like, she's like, you want to see something cool? She took a black light and went to her backyard, and they all glow in the dark.
Oh. Yeah.
And it was like, what is happening? She's like, oh, no, those are all scorpions. We can't go outside at night. And I was like, I mean, no.
It's super cool looking from afar, but absolutely terrifying if you've got to like go take out the trash or something.
Oh yeah, I love the way a scorpion looks. Like I think it's such a cool. I have a scorpion tattoo from my grandfather's sign. Like he's a He was a Scorpio, and so I love how scorpions, and I love Sting. From wrestling.
Oh, of course. There you go.
And he had like the scorpion logo back in the day, but the actual scorpion itself, if I'm within like any kind of spitting distance, no. Get me away.
Yeah, they are. That's because they got a lot going on that make them look terrifying. They really do. They got the lobster-like claws. They got that tail with the big picture on the back.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have to say, I didn't realize there was many out there as there were because I never did the black light thing. But when I lived in Arizona, and I don't remember really coming across a lot of scorpions. It's really fascinating that they always said check your shoes because sometimes they could crawl in there. So I always did the shoe check and to see if I could dump one out. But I can't really remember coming across a lot of them, which I'm happy to say is cool. I don't remember them that much. I don't know if Joey D's does, but I don't remember
Joey's
many
like,
scorpions.
No. Yeah, Joey's nodding no.
And we lived not too far from Gilbert. We lived in in Scottsdale, Arizona. Maybe because it was too built up. I don't know. But I was expecting to see a lot more scorpions than I did.
So much that I look at utilities. I opened up a foam pedestal the other day, and a gardener snake slithered out, and I about crapped my pants.
Yeah,
bugs and critters are fine, but no snakes.
They just we've just been we've seen snakes be bad. And everything we've seen them in, everything at all. They just have this bad label to them. Spiders, thanks to Harry Potter and any other really, or tarantulas. It's just they seem like
tarantulas. For me, it's Brady Bunch.
Yeah, exactly. That's me too.
Do you guys remember the Brady Bunch?
No,
they don't know that episode.
I know what Brady Bunch is. I've seen a few episodes, but I don't know the
Hawaii episode.
No.
Oh, I remember they had like a tiki idol.
Yes, and everything. We had bad luck, and then.
It was because of that tiki idol that the tarantula got loose.
Yeah, and ended up on like the bed on the body of it. Was it Peter or was it Greg?
Oh, I think it was Peter. Peter had all the bad stuff.
Peter was the middle child, right?
It was either Peter or Bobby. Yeah, Peter was the middle child. It might have. Was it Peter or Bobby? I can't remember. But one of them got the tarantula.
I think it was Peter. And that looks like Peter.
Yeah. He's not the Johnny Bravo handsome-looking guy. Peter's just the okay-looking guy. And then Bobby looks a little weird.
Vicky, that's a different Peter. Let's get off of your Facebook direct messages, please.
Whoa! Wow. I thought you said no more unsolicited snake pics. What's going on?
Yeah, dude. Ever since then, I've been terrified. And tarantulas, when you look at them, are kind of cool looking, but I don't
but they're also kind of, oh my God, you're a bigger creature than you should be.
Or go with the Home Alone tarantula. Home Alone.
Yes.
Yeah, where it actually helps save him. So, it could go either way.
That was his brother's
tarantula,
right? Yep.
So the damage was done for us, Danny. We had already seen the Brady Bunch. But if you got if you've got your start with Home Alone, then you weren't stigmatized like we were.
Well, it's like you mentioned, like how like certain things will freak you out about because of television shows like Harry Potter. And like for me, it was wrestling. Jake the Snake Roberts, man. Like when he would finish off beating a wrestler, he would pull out Damien in his bag, his snake bag, and just dump it on the wrestler. And of course, that was like insult to injury.
Do you even remember when it was the Macho Man versus Jake the Snake, and he had the snake bite Macho Man, and they wouldn't show it on TV? They like blocked it out because it was too intense.
Oh, I think they showed it, man. I remember seeing it as a kid, being traumatized. It was like a cobra.
Yeah.
Or some kind of snake. And it's just, and Jake was really kind of like, I mean, he's dealing with a wild animal. Like, it's not trained. And he's poking Macho Man with it. And the snake just latched on his arm and like legit was biting Macho Man's arm. It was terrifying.
It was absolutely terrifying.
I think when they replayed it, they would always block it out.
See, that's why, I would watch it on the replays. I wasn't fancy enough for pay-per-view. Wow.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah, it was. It was
the good old days of wrestling.
Dude, it was so intense.
But it was like one of those intros, like, we got to go with it, man. You know what I mean? Like it's live. You can't be like, call pest control. We're in the middle of a match. I'm supposed to be this bad guy and make people believe that I really want to hurt them. Well, I'm hurting them.
Well, you sure are.
I was scared of bees.
There's no venom.
No, there wasn't.
I was scared of bees for the longest time because of My Girl.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah, that movie, and it was just like anytime I would hear a bee, I would just get like a panic attack when I was
That
a kid.
movie's so good, but it wrecked me.
Yeah, it really did.
I never want to see it again. I don't even like that you brought it up. It's very sad.
Sorry, I apologize.
Sorry about that.
Well, a bee took out my uncle's next door neighbor, who's kind of like a member of the family, like because we knew him for so long. He was just outside sunbathing and got stung by a bee. And his wife thought, he's just sleeping, enjoying the sun, and then he never woke up again.
Whoa!
He was allergic to the bee sting.
Oh no,
dude! Talk about traumatic. Like you don't know you don't know how allergic you are to a bee until that moment happens.
Damn! The first time it happens in his life, that's it, and he's and nobody knows because he's just there dying.
No, I mean, he just kind of closed his eyes. Like everyone just thought he was just like sleeping and sunbathing.
Wow. Oh, that is not cool.
I know.
Oh, that is not cool.
That's why you just stay inside, man. Like,
yeah, I'm with you.
That's my philosophy.
One text wants to know if you have to deal with one. Snake or spider, which do you choose?
Spider all the way.
Spider.
Yeah.
What?
I'd rather deal with a spider than a snake.
I'd rather deal with a snake.
Okay, what would you rather wake up to? A spider crawling on your leg or a snake crawling on your leg?
Snake.
Really?
What?
Yeah, dude.
What?
Spiders have so many different legs, and they're all hairy. They are very hairy legs.
But they're like a centimeter of they're not even an inch.
Well, it depends on the spider.
Brush it off.
Yeah, I'm like thinking tarantula. We've been talking about Home Alone and stuff like that.
Well,
man.
tarantula,
I
think I'll take.
I was thinking
I'm talking camel spiders. Those cute little ones.
Those cute little ones.
Big, what is it? 50-cent piece size spiders. Those are nothing to scoff at. And then if you blink, it'll run away and you won't know where it is. At least a snake, you can kind of know where it is at all times.
That's a tough one, man.
It's
I can see that.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I'm still going to pick a spider.
I'd rather neither.
Yeah, snakes
unless it's a tarantula, then I'm going to have to really give it some thought.
Today's podcast is brought to you by bankruptcy attorney Travis Gagne, who's ready to answer your questions about bankruptcy. Travis, is it true that if you filed for bankruptcy once, you can't file again?
Even if you filed bankruptcy before, you can almost certainly file bankruptcy again. Different types of bankruptcies have different time limits between filings. In Chapter 7, full bankruptcy, you can only file Chapter 7 once every 8 years. However, you can almost always file a Chapter 13 case. Chapter 13 cases can be filed immediately following a Chapter 7. They can be filed immediately following a prior Chapter 13 case. Chapter 13 is a reorganization plan, so there will be some type of monthly payment, but it's based on your budget and your ability to afford that payment. So Chapter 13 is an option in almost all cases, even with a prior bankruptcy filing.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. Thanks for listening.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
A burst pipe at 3 a.m. is a bad way to start the day. A cold shower in November isn't invigorating. So before you start freaking, call Beacon. Beacon Plumbing, Heating, and Mechanical is just one call away 24 hours a day. 1-800-FREAKIN or beaconplumbing.net.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.